Anya Hart here. Thank you for joining us on Hollywood Live. Hey everybody, welcome to Hollywood Live. So glad to see you. Well, my guest today has had a storied career that just keeps going. From The Predator to No Sudden Moves, his latest film, activist, author, director, what else can I say? And one of my favorite people, that's what I'll say. Bill Duke is here. Hey Bill, how are you?
God bless you, my dear. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, let's get right into it because like I said, there's a lot to talk about. No Sudden Moves actually takes place in Detroit, one of my hometowns, in 1954, right at the beginning of the Civil Rights Movement. Tell me a little bit about this movie.
Well, without giving a lot of it away, it's kind of a mystery crime drama, and it deals with a number of different gangs in Detroit at that time in competition for something that you'll find out in the movie. And I played the part of the head of the Black gang, the OG, and it was fun. It was a great time working with Don Cheadle and Matt Damon and some other great actors. So we had a good time.
I was going to say, you have got the incredible ensemble cast on this one. And you've always managed to surround yourself with great actors and great ensembles. But what would you say was special about this one?
What's special about this one is the humility, the kindness, the collaborations, everybody coming together to do, great work, I think. And the people were humble, no egos came to it. And like Don Cheadle, for example, he plays very serious roles, but off screen, he's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. Full of jokes, teasing. And so anyway, it was a great time. And by the way, Detroit's coming back.
Oh, I know Detroit is coming back. Detroit is actually, downtown has been back for a while. But the rest of it is finally, after, being bombed out in 1967 during the riots, and it never really, those buildings were still up for like 45 years, those burned out buildings. So good. I'm glad to hear that. So you actually did film a lot of it in Detroit.
Yeah, the whole thing was in Detroit.
Yeah, I could kind of tell that by the trailer. You know what? Your own life, Bill, could be a movie. You've done so many things, and you've really overcome so much, which you talked about in your book, which I actually read.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, that was like, and I think I read that was last year when it came out, or 2 years ago. But looking at that, you talk about bullying and a lot of the things that young people are going through today. How did you overcome all of that?
That's a very good question. I like to say I did it, but I think God, which I believe in, guided me through so much. And luckily, I had great parents. When I was a young man, and I still have it, I had a disease called dyslexia. And so in terms of reading and communicating, I was not very good at that. And in my elementary school, they had categories for readers, and they didn't know what dyslexia was in those days.
Right, that's true.
So you had the lions, I think it was the top readers. Then you had the bears, you had the donkeys. And so the donkeys were the poor readers, and I was a donkey. And their goal was to make you want to be a lion or an eagle, right? But once you're a donkey, you kind of identify with that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but my parents said something to me I never forgot. They say, you're no better than anybody else, but nobody else is better than you. And they were some of the wisest people I've ever known.
Yeah, you talk a lot about your parents too in the book too. I remember that, and your sister. It's interesting because you have managed to stay so relevant in this business for a long time. But let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to the Predator days. Which is a lot of people in our office, just so you know, are such big fans of yours, and they still talk about the Predator, and they're not even old enough to remember when it came. But they talk about it anyway. So speaking of that, you know, what was it like in those days being on sets and that character and Arnold Schwarzenegger and all of that stuff going on? What was that? What is your most, I'd say, powerful memory from that particular movie?
I think the memory was the Brotherhood. You know, we were in the jungle. When I say jungle, up in the jungles of Puerto Vallarta, we're like, you know, 45 minutes, almost an hour from our hotel. And we're talking about coral snakes, we're talking about scorpions. The first, I tell this story all the time, the first week we were there, the cook put a netting around the tent where we ate. But every time we would try to eat some food, there were bugs in the food because we were in the jungle. We would say, first week, take this junk back. We're not eating this crap. By the second week, it was called protein. There was nothing else to eat. What can I tell you? So the Brotherhood came together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yes, that's that. You know what? And people don't understand, when you get hungry enough, you will eat some protein.
You'll eat some protein.
You'll eat some protein, no matter what it's made from. Oh, I love it.
I'll tell you. What can I tell you?
I know that is such a great story. You know, you've created your own network. It's called Unite Network. Tell me about that.
Well, I'm very invested in the future of our children. I have a foundation called the Duke Media Foundation. You can go to dukemedia.foundation.org and see what we're doing. But I think we have an obligation and responsibility, and you're doing that work also, to leave our children something that gives them hope. Mm-hmm. And right now we're so divided. I mean, politically, the coronavirus, you know, I mean, we're divided big time. And being divided, we cannot come together and leave our children hope. So my network is called Unite. And you hear bad news on most of the networks, but I report good news. There are good people doing good things around this world that you never hear about. One of my favorite programs on television is CNN Heroes. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it goes around the world and it shows you people that are doing good things. And so my network is showing good things that people are doing. We give the information to young people in terms of surviving our industry. I have the support of Anthony Anderson and Cedric the Entertainer and other great people that are supporting me. So it's been a journey, and Jeff Stroy and Monica Cooper are heading it up also. We'll have our first face up January 10th, and then we're going to go to launching the soft network launch network in the first week in July, and then the hard launch is going to be during Thanksgiving. So we're doing it in stages. We have several programs, and we're really just trying to make a difference. That's all.
Now, is this this is a video? Is this like a YouTube network, or or a TV network, or what is it that we can?
It's going to be an online network. We're going to have our own channel, our own space online.
Okay.
You know, through YouTube and other platforms, but we're like, I'm not saying we're going to change the world, but you know, if we can do what we can do. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? You can actually change the world. I mean, people don't realize that. Sometimes one good deed spreads to somebody else, and then it spreads to somebody else. And then there is a change. I mean, there just is. And I think about the movie, No Sudden Moves, and, you know, in Detroit in the 50s, which is where my family is from. And so I grew up on the other side of the state, but used to spend a lot of time there during my childhood. And I remember, I mean, it was, you know, kind of an idyllic childhood, to be honest, and I'm grateful for that. But there were elements in Detroit, man, that just, whoa. So, you know, and then the background of the backdrop of the civil rights movement. And I'm thinking about today, because we're right back there again, for the young people that are listening to all of the noise and all of the divisiveness, how would you guide young people to kind of cut through the noise that they are constantly getting, mainly on the internet?
Well, first of all, I would say find a purpose in your life.
Mm.
no matter what it is. Other people may find it so small and insignificant. No, your vision, your idea, your commitment to yourself, your self-love is the most important thing in your life. You have to learn to love you and respect you. And if you do that, you will say to other people, this is what I expect. If you don't, that's what you're going to get. And the second thing I would say is stop waiting. If you have an idea, for example, to create content, and you're waiting for the movie studios and the networks to discover you, you should rethink that. Because look at people like yourself and Issa Rae and others. They stopped waiting. They said, you know something? I have a vision, I believe in me, and I'm going to create it. And so even if you have cell phones, if you have a cell phone, you can actually, I was in a movie not too long ago, Steven Soderbergh, called, what's it called? I forgot the name of it. High Flying Bird, I'm sorry, it's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He shot the entire movie in New York City with 5 iPhone 7 Pluses.
Wow.
When they did the dolly shots, they rolled them around on a wheelchair.
Wow.
So what I'm saying is, no one is stopping us except us.
Yeah.
So if you learn the craft of acting, the craft of directing, the craft of producing, the craft of writing, etc., you now have access to the internet, which is a global platform. You push a button and your content is distributed globally. And as I say all the time in my interviews, when I came up, there was no internet, there was no social media. The first iPhone, I got it, and it was this big. Do you remember that iPhone?
I do. I think I've got a whole bunch of them still over there somewhere in another office. Probably that's one of them.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
I do.
But that was the beginning. But now, I mean, what's the name of it? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It was on for 9 years, and it started out as webisodes. So all I'm saying is to encourage young folks to stop waiting. Yeah. Discover yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you certainly can lead the path in that one. What's coming up next for you? This movie, I know, by the way, everybody, the movie comes out, No Sudden Moves, July 1st. I know you guys are going to actually do a big kind of premiere in New York soon, yes. Which is exciting. Mm-hmm. So what's up next?
Well, there are several things. I was a writer. So my book of poetry is going to be coming out in the next 3 weeks. It's called Works of the Invisible Man. And then I have an animated book, which is going to be coming out, called The Journey. And it's about the journey that we all take in life and what we can learn from the journey that we take and what we can pass on to young folks that are coming that might find it useful, the information I give them in the book. And so that, and I'm developing a couple of films and I'm working on another documentary series called What is a Man and What is a Woman?
Oh, that should be good.
Yes, it should be interesting to answer that question. So I still work a lot, I never want to retire because I enjoy what I do. And I just want to keep going.
Well, that's the thing about our business. People don't retire. We just keep going until we drop.
That's right.
You just drop at some point. So.
Yes, I don't want to drop, but I understand what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah. No. It's just like that. And I bring up our beloved, the late Cicely Tyson. She was on TV and she was 97 years old, and then one day days later she went to sleep. Yes. So there you have it. You just kind of keep going.
I saw her on Broadway in a play. She was I think she was late 80s, early 90s. What was the play?
Was. Yes. Bounty.
Something like that. And
something like that.
She was incredible. Yeah. Singing and dancing and, I mean, great spirit. And also, it's like We miss Clarence Williams III. You know, he was a great
Yes.
spirit, a great human being, and one of the greatest actors I've ever met and worked with, ever.
Wow.
He never should be forgotten, Clarence Williams.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we've lost so many people, but here's the good news. We're still here and we still got Bill Duke and we got new
So
movie.
have you also.
Yeah, we got Tanya and Bill, you know,
That's
good combo there. No sudden moves. I cannot wait for this movie just because of the cast and because of where it's set. And I know you guys are going to bring it. What do you want the audience to know about why they should try to come on out if they can? And if not, watch it on, I believe it's on, is it HBO
HBO
Max?
Max. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So if you can't get to the theater, you can definitely catch it on HBO Max. What do you want your parting words to be to the audience about the movie?
Action, adventure, mystery, suspense, and surprises.
Bill Duke, you are truly, and I always say it, one of my favorite people. I'm not changing that.
Thank you, Tanya. You one of my favorites, and God bless you and your family sincerely.
Thank you. You too. Good luck, and I cannot wait to see this movie in theaters July 1st. Everybody be there. And always join in with us here on Hollywood Live, because as you can see, we bring it to you, and we're not going to stop doing that. So thanks so much, everybody. Have a great one.